All right. My guest in the first hour, hugely successful in the line of rubs. Perhaps you've heard of Holy Gospel or Holy Cow. He also has a bunch of other merch and products to look at, giving cooking classes, other live fire stuff. So let's race to the Fogo Charcoal Hotline and welcome back friend of the show, creator of Meat Church, based in Waxahachie, Texas. Ooh, I think I said that right. Matt Pittman joining me. Matt, how are you, buddy?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I appreciate you making time here for the show. I know very busy, right? So first off, and Matt, I have to be honest when I ask you this question. I have spoken horse a lot over the years with various people and with varying degrees of horror and or intrigue. And I truly thought that my guy from Waxahachie would be the first person to give me real-life feedback on horse, but not to be the case. What gives?
Well, hold on. I want to give you some credibility.
Me? Look at this guy. Holy mo... Love it. That's like old school, too, by the way.
Yeah, it's vintage. It's last year's.
Do you wear that out in public?
Yeah, and it gets looks.
Yo, I can only imagine. Well, so what's the canned response back? I lost a bet and I got to wear it, or what?
Like, hey, I ate it once. I'm a supporter, so I'm good.
Did you eat horse?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
I ate it in
That's
Japan.
right. Yeah. You were out of the country, right? So I always get creeped out because I hear somebody ate it, and then my first thought is, oh my God, I hope you didn't eat it in this country. I mean, I hope we all get to eat it in this country legally at some point.
Hey, one day. Yep.
Yeah. You think that'll really happen? I think not.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
So do you have any thoughts on the NBA playoffs and what two teams you might think will meet in the finals this year? By the way, won't be the Cavs.
Will it make you mad if I tell you that I'm not much of a basketball guy? I'm a huge hockey guy, so I'm all about the. I used to work for the Dallas Stars, so I'm all about the Stanley playoffs.
How did you get in with the Dallas Stars?
I used to work in downtown Dallas years ago, and long story, who you know, and worked in the locker room. So, and all my buddies are equipment managers still, so they're near and dear to my heart. Closed out the Predators last night.
So as much as you aren't a basketball fan, I'm probably less of a hockey fan. I do think, by the way, that hockey players are very tough and very athletic and very in shape, and I would never, ever, nary say a word to the opposite of I think they're great, because they could easily, I mean, most humans can easily pound me. There's no doubt about it. But where do you think hockey rates? I mean, I know Canadians love it, and obviously it's big in Europe as well, but I mean, I just think it's kind of lost until the playoffs start. But I don't know if that's necessarily a true measure of how good a sport is if you really just tune in for the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's the fourth sport, I guess. But, you know, to me, it's like football, but requires hand-eye coordination. So whenever a team moves in somewhere, so like Vegas right now is on a high. When the Stars came here in the 90s, it blew up in Texas because it was kind of like football, but then the fighting, the violence, you know, that's a big deal. So anyway, huge fan.
Because football is not known for violence, right? Matt Pittman joining me here on the show, meatchurch.com, his website. By the way, last time you were on, Matt, you were just around 140,000 Instagram followers. You are now at 240,000. Holy moly. Is it just, you're just on fire now? And I mean, how many are you adding a day, do you think? Do you even track that anymore?
Yeah, a couple hundred, but I'm not posting as much as I used to. You know, it's some people's life, and it can consume you. You know, you've got to feed the machine and the algorithm if you want it to grow. So I do post daily, but, you know, I used to post 2 and 3 times a day, and it's just tough because it's me, myself. It's really organic. You know, I'm not one of these reposter guys that's reposting 20 times a day to get to 600,000, 700,000, 800,000. So, but it's a lot of work even for, you know, the at least once or twice I post a day.
You know, I get that people want to get to, I mean, the magic first number is 10,000, so you can start sending out links, and I think that's when people may or may not start approaching you to maybe do some sponsor shots and stuff. But once you get to over 100,000 or over 200,000, I mean, if I was an individual and had that following, I think, oh, well, you know, now the ship is going to come in, but you're probably in a unique situation where you probably have the opportunity to make money because of the following and all that stuff. But Do you take advantage of that, or do you just not need to because it is a marketing tool for your products?
Very rarely do I do anything to monetize it, mainly because I want what we do to be very organic and not feel contrived. And so everything we use is stuff that I believe in. And so I get approached every day. And, first and foremost, I'm like, well, I have to use it and want to use it and want to try it and like it and believe in it. But I just don't jump right into things. I've done some campaigns here and there that I think are good for barbecue and things like that. But you can go back and look. Very rarely do I go, pimp a product for a sponsored ad, I would say.
Matt Pittman joining me here on the show. All right, Matt, so let's get into a little meat church business here. And for the folks who just might be tuning in for the first time or finding the show, maybe they're not as familiar with your whole deal and the brand and all that stuff. Just a quick snapshot of Meat Church, how many employees you might have right now, and kind of how you got that start and where you're at today.
Super unique barbecue brand, in my opinion. I say all the time, I'm not trying to be anybody else, so we're doing our own thing. People say, what is Meat Church? And I either say I do one of two things, which is, we sell a line of barbecue products. And then on the personality side, I really like to do the appearance, teaching, that sort of thing, kind of travel around teaching barbecue, as you know, and teach a lot here in Texas. And then on the other hand, I say I'm kind of everything but a restaurant. So, really my mission is to have everything you need to make great barbecue. I recently opened our flagship store, which I'm sitting in right now, which is kind of a new venture for us. Maybe not my brightest idea, but it's fun. So, I just want to be able to, I don't care what people cook on. I don't care how people cook. I say barbecue is a journey. It doesn't matter how you get there. And, I always say I barbecue to have a good time and make good memories. And so I'm here just to help people make really good barbecue. And at the end of the day, if I can have every product you need to do that, then, I feel pretty good about it. So pretty simple mission.
Matt, the last two times you've been on the show, I've led with the whole, do you still have a day job question? And the answer has always been yes. You're an IT guy. However, since our last conversation, you have made the jump from having both to doing Meat Church only. So, regardless of how successful Meat Church might be, if you have a good day job that you like doing, it's probably a struggle to look at leaving the day job to go to the other job in a realistic sense. So, let's dive into that and break it down, because I think it's important for people that might be in some kind of a similar situation to hear your journey. And I'm sure it's always sounded like a good idea. Matt Pittman, only Meat Church every day, all day, no matter what. But what made you walk over the other side of the fence and leave IT behind at this point?
And it was a really, not necessarily a hard decision, but it was really tough to get to the decision point with my wife and my family. And I tell people, a lot of people will get good at barbecue and go open a restaurant. And I know people have done that late in their 20s, early in their 30s, and it's not as hard of a decision. But I was an officer of a company that had, recently gone public, and 21 years in corporate America, a degree in finance. And it wasn't an 8-to-5 job. It was a career, and it paid me very well. And they made it very difficult for me to leave. In my mind, I knew for a while that this was coming, and people around me knew that it was coming. But I have 4 kids, 2 are in college, and it's not easy to just go cut that loose and go do this. And so wife and I decided last summer that we would do it, and I would transition out over the course of late last year, which I did. So I retired in December, and now I'm full-time Meat Church, which is pretty exciting. But it was a rough last couple years because my job was very demanding. I managed technology operations and real estate for a very high growth company. And that had me extremely busy. And so no one understood how I was able to juggle Meat Church on the side, so to speak. And funny, everyone says you're busier when you work for yourself. And it's crazy how, the first quarter in barbecue is usually the slower time. And I've probably never been as busy as I am right now. But and I'm still not doing everything that I want to do, but it's extremely rewarding and 110% the right decision.
So let's pull the curtain back just a little bit when you say you were always asked, and I think I was one of the guys that had asked you at some point live on this show, how are you doing a day job where you're very successful and very important at because, IT and real estate, especially if it's in a big growth segment, and that has to be on point for everything to kind of hit all its marks. Then you also have this great business of Meat Church, and it's like a whole different scene. How are you able to do both? So how were you able to run both? Who was helping you along?
I didn't sleep a lot. Some people call me the hardest working man in barbecue. I don't know about that. A lot, everybody in barbecue works really hard, but certainly have. I think I have a strong work ethic. Got it from my grandfather and my dad. So never stop working. I'm certainly proud when my kids tell me they've never seen anybody work so hard. But that took a toll on my family because, I'm up early in the morning. I did things way early with Meat Church, went to my job, made sure I was, laser focused on my job, and then got back to Meat Church in the evening. But it took a lot of time away from my family, and that was the part that hurt. I outsourced a couple things. I mean, I kind of do most things, but just kind of had some part-time employees helping do the fulfillment, which some people still think is crazy that we're not in fulfillment or not leveraging a third-party company, but it's a full family business. So everyone employed here is in my family. And so that's a really cool story. That may not scale forever, but for now, I've got my eyes keenly on what we do on a daily basis. Quality is huge. I answer every customer service email, all the socials, me. So, it's a lot, but it's important to me right now and where we're at. And we've got a great name in the industry, and I want to keep it that way. So I'll keep doing this as long as I can do it.
I've had a number of discussions that are similar to what we're talking about here. I mean, I'm kind of one of those guys, right? I have a day job. I sell Class 8 Peterbilt trucks during the day. And then over the course of 11 and 12 years, I've went from a, piece of crap show to still piece of crap show, but I've also started to generate some revenue over the course of time. I mean,
yeah.
If things just went to the crapper with I got fired unannounced, I showed up high one day and I got terminated. I probably generate a decent enough income to piece it together. But I'm a guy who really likes money a lot. So I don't mind being really successful at truck sales right now, which I guess anybody could be really successful at truck sales the way the industry is going right now. But, I make a pretty good chunk over there. I'm making a pretty decent chunk there. I don't really want to leave one or the other. I'm really good at one. I'm really good at the other. I'm not taking one from the other. I know that was kind of one of the concerns that you had mentioned about as well. So when you're talking to your wife and when you're like, hey, we both agree here, but like, what are the big decisions or the big things that you both have to agree on to say, okay, we're both in agreeing that you're going to leave this really great job and do Meat Church full time? That's got to be a big deal.
It was huge because she didn't really want any part of it. And I'm not speaking ill or bad of her, but it took me time to realize she had a different perspective. I thought, hey, at my corporate job, I make X amount of money. And with Meat Church, we have X amount of money. And once Meat Church is bigger than this and I'm comfortable, then what's the big decision?
Right.
But my business is interesting. We just turned 5 years old, but within the first year, we didn't know it was going to be this, and we weren't trying to make it this. So at some point, it was a hobby when it started, and I don't know exactly at what point it officially became a business that we were really trying. But in the second year, if I look back, I thought, well, that's pretty good money. But I wondered, is this going to keep growing? And in the third year, I'm like, this is good money, but is it going to drop tomorrow? And you never know. And as I look back over, we had these complex spreadsheets where we look at our growth and things like that. And so, it took me personally a long time to finally say, no, this is a real deal. But my wife's perspective wasn't what the business Meat Church was making. It was, why would you walk away from that amazing career job? Right. Like, you can just put on your pants and go make a dang good living. We're very comfortable. Why would you leave that? And what if something happens to Meat Church? Then what? And so, I had to walk her through all the scenarios of where we're at financially, where we're at with our growth. I didn't sell her on anything. I said, look, I'm not going to say if we do this, then we'll achieve this. I said, forget that. Let's just say where we're at.
Right.
And she got comfortable with that finally. And I said, you just got to trust me. I wake up every day trying to provide for my family. I'm not going to, I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I'm a barbecue guy, but I'm an entrepreneur. And I said, we're going to be fine. And I've never had 1% doubt. It's still challenging. I mean, her other concern was, I get called every day to be somewhere to do something. And she said, once you don't have that job, you're going to be gone all the time. And I am gone a lot right now. And, that's a balance. It's a tough balance because they're all great opportunities. I don't like to say no, but got to keep the family happy as well.
I hear from some folks that say, if you have both, you never fully commit until you leave the day job for the side piece. So as the year turns, you go fully into Meat Church. Do you feel like there is a new revival of commitment or a new level of commitment that you didn't feel before?
I personally felt very committed, but it's like wholly my baby now. I wake up thinking this is even more important, but it's very rewarding too, because like today I woke up and said, all right, I'm not going to go in. I'm going to go eat breakfast with my wife or whatever. And, I can kind of do what I want. But it's cool to be able to know that you're wholly responsible for what you're doing. And so, yeah, super, super committed.
Matt Pittman joining me here on the show, talking about Meat Church and doing that full time now, meatchurch.com, the website, if you want to check it out here while we're talking. Did you leave a open door back to the corporate world in case things maybe started to go south or things weren't like panning out, or if things don't pan out, do you leave like a trail back and say, hey guys, don't forget about me, or can you not live like that?
So when I approached my boss, I said, I'm not giving you my notice. I said, I just want to talk to you about my intention, and I want to build a plan together. I want to make you whole. I'll stay as long as you want me to stay. And she asked me like, how long does that seem? And I said, well, I don't know. This was in the beginning of the fall. And I said, feels like the end of the year, but I'm flexible. So I finished out a major project I was working on, did them right, I guess I would say. And so definitely the door's open, but I never had one conversation about, hey, if this doesn't work, I'm coming back, because I'm 10,000% committed. And I don't miss the corporate world. Like, everyone in the corporate world hates meetings and all that. And I had an hour commute one way. And so I definitely do not miss that. Got to take my daughter to gymnastics at 4:00 today that I would have never been able to do previously. So the door is open because it was an extremely amicable, professional transition. But hopefully I don't ever have to exercise that.
And I would imagine that Meat Church revenues, I'm not looking for specific numbers, obviously, but I would imagine the revenues are able to sustain you guys as like the living, breathing Pittmans, and, continue to grow on the business side as well.
We've made really smart financial decisions personally. We're not out, I'm at the shop. I drove up here in a 2010 Accord with 200,000 miles on it. I'm not rocking the Meat Church Maserati quite yet. So I've tried to be extremely smart with what we do. So we try not to spend our money. We like to have good vacations, but other than that, I'm trying to be smart. So the revenue, the growth of the company has been unreal. Like last year, every month I'd look at the books and be like, geez, like what's going on? So it became easier for me last year to think that this would be good. And we're lucky. Like we have such amazing customers, and people go out and talk about us and tell their friends about us. And in these classes, they sell out in like record time. So we've been extremely lucky thanks to kind of the community of people that use Meat Church.
We're talking with Matt Pittman from Meat Church. Matt, can I hold you over for one more segment and we can
100%.
continue to talk? All right, hold on a second here. We are talking with Matt Pittman from Meat Church. Again, the website is meatchurch.com if you want to check it out here.